Video 1, Coordinate Geometry. In this lecture we're looking at writing and using the equation of a straight line in both forms. Y equals mx plus c and ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. The one you have probably seen before is the y equals mx plus c way of writing the equation of a straight line. There's our coordinate axis, and in this form m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. So if we have that straight line in red, the gradient is when you go across 1, how far up you go, and the y-intercept is just simply where it cuts the y-axis. So in the form y equals mx plus c, it's very easy to see what the gradient and intercept are. A form more often used in A-level is the general form, which is the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. It's a rearrangement of the first form. There's a number of special things we have to consider in this form. A has to be in that order, x's, y's, and then the number. The a and the b and the c have to be integers, so there can be no fractions or decimals. They have to be integers, and we try where possible to make the a positive. So, some examples of their use. Example 1. Write then the gradient and y-intercept of the following graphs. Y equals minus 3x plus 2. This one's straightforward. In this form we can see instantly that the gradient is minus 3 and the y-intercept is at the point 0, 2. It's always worth remembering that if a question asks for the answer to be the coordinates of the y-intercept, then it is indeed looking for coordinates. So 0, 2 is the answer. B, 4x minus 2y plus 5 is equal to 0. In this form we can see that we can't instantly see the gradient and intercept, so we have to rearrange it. If we rearrange it, we can first normalize the y's, shuffle those across, so we get 4x plus 5 is equal to 2y. Then we can divide by 2 to get y is equal to 2x plus 5 over 2, and once we have it in that form we can then easily read off that the gradient is 2 and the y-intercept is at 0,5 over 2. Example 2. Write down each equation in the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. The important part in these questions is getting the form correct. So 4 equals y equals 4x plus 3. We can rearrange it by taking the y away to be 4x plus 3 minus y is equal to 0, but that isn't in the right form. It has to be x, y number. So change it again to be 4x minus y plus 3 is equal to 0. Y equals minus a half x plus 5. Well, let's get all the terms on the same side to start with. So again, in this case we'll add the half on and take away the 5. So we get y plus a half x minus 5 is equal to 0. There's other ways you get that. You could take the y away, but then you would have to do something later to get rid of the minus signs. It tends to be easier to get rid of minus signs as early as possible. And then that's not quite in the right form for a number of reasons. It's in the wrong order and it's a fraction in it, and a, b and c have to be integers. So if we times by 2, we get 2y plus x minus 10 is equal to 0, and then put it in the right form, x plus 2y minus 10 is equal to 0. A line is parallel to the line y equals 3x plus 2 and passes through 0, minus 1. Write the equation of the line. Parallel lines have the same gradient. So if we're looking at y equals 3x plus 2, we can see that the gradient of that line is 3. So the gradient of a parallel line will be y equals 3x plus something, 3x plus c. That c is the y-intercept. The y-intercept of our new line is 0, minus 1. So therefore y equals 3x minus 1 is the line which is parallel to y equals 3x plus 2 and goes through the point 0, minus 1. There's the original line, there's our new line. Parallel, same gradient. A line is parallel to the line 6x plus 3y minus 2 is equal to 0 and passes through 0, 3. Write the equation of the line. Well, it's the same sort of deal. We have to know first what the gradient of that line is. So we got 6x plus 3y minus 2 is equal to 0. We can rearrange it and we end up with 3y equals minus 6x plus 2 and y is equal to minus 2x plus 2/3. So we now know that the gradient of the original line is minus 2. So the line parallel will be y equals minus 2x plus something or another. It has to go through the point 0, 3, so the something or another must be 3. So y equals minus 2x plus 3 is the line that is parallel to the original. Example 5. The line y equals 4x plus 8 crosses the y-axis at 8. It crosses the x-axis at P. Work out the coordinates of P. Well, when it crosses the x-axis, that means y is equal to 0. So when it crosses the y-axis, x is equal to 0. It's 0, intercept. When it crosses the x-axis, that's when y is equal to 0. So if we substitute y is equal to 0 into our equation, we get 0 is 4x plus 8. So x quite obviously equals minus 2. Again, the question says work out the coordinates of P, so we have to say minus 2, 0 for the final answer.